Okay, we're live.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's a good day today and we're happy to be alive. We thank God for today. Today I am here with my fam.
Yay!
This is Gloria EJ, another YouTuber, and I have brought her here today to come and tell us about how life is like in China and the things that you have to know before you come. This is not a place that you come unprepared, trust me. If you try, you would not be happy with yourself. So please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, hello everybody. It's good to be on Ela-Marie's channel. My name is Gloria and I am from Nigeria. I've been in China for about 4 years now, and I live here with my family, my husband, and my daughter. And I also happen to be a YouTuber who films about life in China and my experiences as a foreigner, especially as a person of color here in China.
That's a very long intro, but very necessary details. Yes. So we are happy to have you here on our
Thank you. I'm
channel,
excited
aren't
to
we?
be here.
We are, right? So my first question is, why China?
Why China? That's a good question. So I've heard a lot of people. I've heard different stories about why people come to China, what their reasons were. But for me personally, I think when I came to China, I at the point I had finished it from the university, so I was basically trying to explore, if you can put it that way. I had a well-paying job in Nigeria, so I wasn't really trying to leave Nigeria because I was suffering and things like that. But because I had learned Chinese and I had heard that okay, when you finish learning Chinese, there's this scholarship that they offer you to go and do like masters in China, and it's for free, and they're going to even pay you like stipends and things like that. I was just like, bring it on, baby.
The money.
It was just like a free opportunity to go abroad, and I was like, okay, cool, China, here we come.
So, based on what you said you were learning Chinese. Why will you be learning Chinese in Nigeria? What are you using the Chinese for?
Girl, when I tell you, actually, it's just that now, right? The translator jobs and things like that, they don't pay as much as before. But 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, there were very few people who could speak Chinese in Nigeria. And we all know that Chinese people are going round Africa and building companies here and there. So it's like the need for translators was like very high. So they built a Confucius Institute in the eastern part of Nigeria, precisely in my school, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. So I had a couple of friends who had gone to learn Chinese when the Confucius Institute just started. And then these people is like your mates, right? They just finished learning Chinese. Some of them didn't even learn it for like long. They just got like a little knowledge of Chinese. And then they went to Chinese companies to work, and they're earning like, okay, if I say it in Naira, you guys might not really
But
get
we still want to
understand. But
hear.
it's like
We'll go and
you see
translate.
people earning 500,000, 1 million Naira from just translating, and they'll just say, the boss will say this, you tell this to the workers. And I'm just like, what? So some of my friends actually encouraged me that okay, if you have time, you can come and learn Chinese. Like you get like a really good job after you graduate, because we all know that in Nigeria, a lot of the times you graduate and there's no jobs.
Hey,
But like
Africa.
for translating, there were like lots of opportunities. So I was like, yeah, I decided to go and learn Chinese so that
Just in case you guys don't know, she has HSK5, and that is like one small step below the highest level of Chinese learning here.
I
Like,
actually sorry to cut you short, but I heard that now they're increasing Chinese to like 7, 8, 9.
you want to
So
kill us?
so HSK6 is no longer the highest level.
Yes, but at least during that time it was
yeah, it
HSK
was.
6, and she had HSK 5 before coming. I just have 3, and you know how I suffered to get that 3. It was crazy. Like, we had to be studying like day and night
Yeah.
just to get HSK 3. It's crazy. But okay, so what were your expectations before you came to China? And also, when you came, did this country meet those expectations? How was life really like when you entered the country?
Okay, my expectations when I came to China. So one of the
No,
things.
before you came.
Okay, before I came.
Yes.
So one of the things that I I really wanted out of China was just the opportunity to actually explore a different country, different cultures, and I think on that level it delivered because I got to meet like a lot of people from like different countries, different
Mm.
backgrounds. It was just a mix of cultures, and I loved it. Like it was so beautiful, like getting to know like even China itself, because learning Chinese in Confucius Institute back at home, you learn a lot about China, you learn about some places in China. There's even an adage in Chinese that says Budao Chang Cheng Fei Hao Han. So it means if you don't get to the Great Wall, like you're not really a successful person, something like that. So it became a craze for all of us learning Chinese that we must go to the Great Wall of China so that we will be, I don't know, so that we will have attained to
Yes.
some sort of status. So on that level, I wanted to like explore China and see the things that we had learned about for myself, and I did that. Another expectation I had about coming to China, obviously, I had the expectation of getting the master's degree, which was the program I came to do. Talking about if it delivered, I think in some aspects, yes. And I think in other aspects, not so much. Maybe some of the aspects that I feel like I didn't really, get my expectations was because, of course, the moment we came to China, it was like 2019
Yeah.
and COVID struck the same year. So a lot of things changed, and all of a sudden we couldn't do some certain things or some certain things that we planned to do. So
Yeah.
but I heard from people that, oh, before COVID China was like a really happening place, but COVID kind of like just slowed things
We are
down.
yet to see it.
We're here. Yeah.
We are
And we're
yet.
here 4 years now.
Aye,
So
aye.
but hopefully things are getting better, so we'll see.
This COVID, I feel like other countries feel like they experienced COVID, but here we experienced it well. Like it started
Yeah.
here, and so the craze was just
Mm.
different. You know, with democratic countries, it's a different like kind of thing. Some people chose here. It's like everything was.
You have to
One
follow.
day, I would talk about the series because when I start, I can't finish. It's like gonna be
Yeah.
like 20 episodes. So maybe one day we'll talk about even those 20 episodes is like a summary, but we'll get
Of
there.
what happened.
But it's good. So now you have your masters, which means that are you done with your masters now?
Yeah, I finished for my master's in 2022 last year. Actually, I was supposed to finish 2021, but I wasn't able to, so I finished 2022.
Why?
Why? Long
Tell us
story.
why. Some people
Long,
came to China to find love.
long story. Do you really want us to go there?
Oh, just
Okay.
just something small about why you
Um,
did not graduate.
Why
on
did
time.
I not? Honestly, okay, I know I'm saying long story, but it can actually be a short story, depending. During the time when I was supposed to have started writing my thesis, for some reason, I don't know. I don't like to say okay because I was pregnant. I was not able to be very serious with the thesis and everything, but I feel like it was part of it actually. And for some reason, my thesis was not ready at the time when it was supposed to be ready, because also my supervisor was not giving me the kind of push that I needed. So, tip number one, if you're coming to China to study, you have to be on your toes. Like, even if your supervisor is not checking up on you, be checking up on him. Be
Yeah.
sending be sending him your work, and just keep in contact. My supervisor was like the laid back, relaxed type,
Yeah, it
and for the
happened to
me
me.
too, I was relaxed with him. So by the time they were saying, "Oh, submit your project for assessment and things like that," my work was nowhere near complete. So I was like, man, you know what? No, I'm not going to stress myself with all these things. And actually, another reason why I decided to extend was because if I had graduated, my visa would have expired, and I wasn't
Oh.
sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure of my next move, what I wanted to do next. I wanted to get a job. Even if I wanted to get a job, like I still had to have time to start the job, and I don't know who would have hired a pregnant self, my pregnant self, during
Aye,
that time. So I really just had to extend, because in my school you do have the grace of extending for like 2 years.
okay.
Yeah, after your master's program. So I extended for 1 year, and eventually it was 3 years to complete the program.
That's nice. That's nice. So in China, as she said, if you happen to not graduate, maybe depending on your supervisor, you can extend a couple of years, maybe 1 or 2 years for
Mm.
masters, and I think PhD also
I think
about the
two or
same.
three
Yeah, two
years.
or 3 years,
2 years.
because it's not that easy,
Yeah.
especially when it's just different because the language barrier, the it's just different.
Yeah.
So sometimes people are not able to finish, and then there are high expectations of your thesis and paper writing and other things. So I would say when you came to China, what is it that you actually experience that you feel like people must know before coming to China? Because if they don't know before coming, they might have a hard time.
Hmm. Something that they must know. I think it depends on number one, the reason you're coming to China,
Okay.
because people come to China for different reasons. Some people come like for study. Some people come for to work. I know like a lot of
Yeah.
people, especially people from English speaking countries. There is the
The
craze.
native speakers.
Yes, there is obviously the craze for like learning English in China. So a lot of people also come here to teach English. Some people come to even do business. I know a lot of people from
Yeah.
Nigeria come to China to buy goods and things like that. So I think it all depends on why you're here. But one thing I feel like really stuck with me, or one thing that really stuck and that sticks with me, because I'm obviously still in China, so I can't talk in the past, is that time moves very fast in China.
Hey,
Time flies
you
in
blink
China.
10
Like,
p.m.
if someone tells me I've been in China for 4 years, I'll be like, say what? And you know, when I first got to China, my roommate at the time, she told me that she can't believe she's been here like 5 years already. I'm just like, you're so old, like you're so old in China. But now I realize that I'm old in China. And she's like, girl, time moves so fast when you're in China. I'm just like, it's not the same 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, 28 days, I'll be 30 days in a month. But I think eventually I began to get an understanding, because it was like 1 year had gone, 2 years had gone, and I'm just like, okay, we have to do what we came here for. So it's like, try as much as possible to be intentional about the reason why you're in China. China is a place that you can easily get carried away, because for life is good. You know, things are convenient. You don't really have anything bugging you. You know, if you're back home and maybe there was no light, you'll be like, ah no, I need to study so that I will make money, so that I will buy a generator or something.
Yeah.
But in China, you have light, you have AC, you have everything. So
There's
those
no
there's no
motivation.
motivation
Yeah.
per se to actually chase the reason you're here. So be very mindful of that. Don't get too comfortable. I actually saw, sorry, let me just digress a little. I saw this, I think it was these short videos, like funny videos of this boy.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw it. Like, he was trying to talk about how fast time goes in China. And so he
Okay.
comes in with his luggage and he's like, hi, I'm here to do my master's. And before he drops his luggage, he comes home and he's looking at his brother. He's like, you've grown so tall. What happened? He's like, oh, it's been 2 years you left. He's like, it's been 2 years. And the next thing, the dumb manager comes and be like, time to go home, time to go home. And he's like, I just got here. The dumb manager said, no, you've graduated. You need to go
It's
back to
true.
your
It's
country.
it's crazy.
So just be on your toes, honestly. If not, time will pass you by so fast in China.
I feel like, yeah, you've made very, 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 very good points. Here, time goes so fast. So if you really don't know why you're here, before you know it, it's your time is up,
Yeah.
and then you wouldn't have been able to achieve what
Achieve,
you
yeah.
came here for. And many people, yes, they come here to come and make money. It's not tell them about it. It's not like the money is just on the ground looking for people to just pick it up. I think quite a lot of people have this idea that, oh, when you come, especially with the teaching, I don't know how it goes out there, that I never heard it before I got here, but
Okay.
that there's a teaching job or something, they're teaching jobs and other things. But I feel like if you come here, you might have to struggle to get it. So don't just make up your mind that, oh, I'm going. You have to be able to achieve something whilst you're maybe waiting for that opportunity, because it's is
Yeah, I,
it
I, I think I think it's relative.
Mhm.
And I think for us, I think also when I was in Nigeria, I didn't really know about the whole teaching
Yeah.
craze in China. Actually, I feel like that number one has to also the fact that not a lot of people make videos like this, like we do, about China, telling people the opportunities that are here for people to, get. But for like English speaking countries, I feel like they're more aware of it, because
Okay.
like for South Africans, for example, a lot of them, like, just back home, they are still back home, but they have a vision of, when I graduate from school, I'm going to teach in China. When I graduate
Oh.
from school, I'm going to teach in Japan,
Maybe it's
in
because they are
Korea,
part of the
because they're
native
part of, yeah. So
speakers.
it's a thing in English speaking countries whereby it's like a career opportunity you can explore. Maybe if you don't get a job or you want to go abroad, like there's so many of them that want to do those things. So, and a lot of them can also actually get jobs from back home. And then the company that gave you the job will even fund your coming and things like that. This is for if you are a native speaker, but
And
if you are not,
so to explain this whole native speaker thing, when you come to China, you find out that all the 1,000 years that you have studied English in your country goes waste when
I'm
you get here.
telling you.
Because me, they taught me in English. I schooled in English. I come here and I'm a non-native English speaker,
Speaker.
which means that like yes,
And she
I
was
schooled.
taught
They
in
taught
English.
me in English.
Same, same.
Non-native speakers will not understand the English I just spoke. But so it's like you come here and then they say that only the native English speakers are like
Yeah.
from England, New Zealand, Australia,
The
the
USA, the
US, the
UK.
UK, and South Africa. And
Mm.
even South Africa
South
is
Africa is
because
the
they have
only.
white people in the country. Don't get it twisted. The black people get to benefit only because they are white people in the country. So it's like that's the only African
They
country.
mostly want white skin.
Yeah, they
people.
want light skinned people. So it becomes a bit hard looking for the job. But in the end, when you get the job, I won't lie, the money is good.
Yeah, the money is
The
good.
money is worth it. It can help you. But the thing is also that I realize that the people that come here to come and work, when they start working, quite a number, especially the young people, they just have fun with the money. Like they just blow the money. So
Yeah.
by the time they are going home, it doesn't really look like they have anything planned because the amount of money some people get here, by
Yeah.
the time they go home, they should have built mansions. Is that not
True.
true? They
True.
should have. But then you see them enjoying life because life here too is also expensive. So if you don't know how to manage your finances, the finances will manage you. And by the time it finishes managing you, you'll be penniless. It's true. Am I lying?
Yeah, true.
Because it's really expensive here. But all in all, also what I would say you need to know before you come to China is you need to I think you need to learn the language a bit because coming here, when you have this language barrier, it really affects
Yeah.
because everywhere you go, let me say 98% of Chinese people don't speak English. It's not even an exaggeration.
Yeah.
And the 2% that actually can, it's kind of like broken English. So there's a limit as to what they hear and what they don't hear. So if you really want to make it, you want to be able to speak to your supervisor and be able to communicate clearly because sometimes they stay away from you because they
Yeah.
cannot communicate
with you. Yeah.
and that if you're a student sometimes it can really affect your studies because then your supervisor is staying away from you. You want to get closer because you want to find out what exactly you want, like we're doing, like let us know what are we doing, let us vibe, let us be able to finish the
Yeah.
school together. But then so I feel like you should learn the language, no matter how hard it is. You should learn the language at least a bit. Ni hao, ni de shanti hao ma. What other words is there? Ni chifan
But
ma.
talking about that, saying "你的身体好吗" is not even a
How ha.
normal speaking.
These
You
are
really,
HSK5.
you really hear anybody say that in real life, but that's what they teach us in school. But still learn
Ah,
it.
they
That
teach
one
that
is
in
still
school.
like that's what they teach. Like when you learn
Ah,
Chinese in class, but
yeah,
when you come
yeah.
into the real society,
And you find out that when you come here and you learn Chinese in school, they teach you standard Chinese. You go to
yeah.
the street and you speak the China standard Chinese, and the Chinese
And then
people
looking
will
at
be
you
like,
like,
what are you saying? What are you saying? You're like you're speaking confidently because you learned it. But it's all good. But will you say that rating China from 1 to 10 or your experience in China, will you say is worth maybe if you go home coming back, and why? Your
I think
rating first.
my rating for China on a scale of 1 to 10, I think I would give it. I think I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm one of the people who feel that China has been good to me
Okay.
because China has its issues. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like on the whole, my life has improved since I've been in China in so many ways actually. And apart from what I've got, what China has given to me, I feel like the person I've become in China.
Mm.
So it's like living in China teaches you a lot of things. It has taught me a lot of things. It has taught me resilience. It has taught me, I mean, COVID itself in China taught
Yeah.
me like,
Gave you patience.
yeah, it teaches you patience. It has taught me
Mm.
to, explore a lot of things, like a lot of things about myself that I didn't know before. So now I'm in China, and because I have the opportunity, there's free Wi-Fi, there's good internet. I started a YouTube channel. Those are not the reasons I started the YouTube channel only, but it's like there are so many things I'm learning about myself now. I'm learning like editing, photography, all these things. I'm developing myself in China, and I don't know if I would have figured out this part of myself if I was back home. You get. So I feel like on those aspects, China has improved my life a lot. And if I go home, I'm sure I'll definitely miss the convenience in China. I mean, the convenient life. I can't leave it out of the equation because personally, I'm someone who likes convenience a lot, a whole lot. Soft girl life, period.
That's the
No,
life.
the transportation, you want to go out, and let's say you want to go somewhere, you calculate, okay, I'll be here in 20 minutes. You can actually get there in 20 minutes. But back home is you can't date. If you have to
You
be
cannot predict.
if you have to be somewhere in 20 minutes, give yourself like an hour. So that
Or
anything
two.
somewhere in
Or two.
so that somewhere in between you will land at that place, right? So I feel like the convenient life, easy like online shopping and things like that are things I'm definitely going to miss. And I also wanted to say something when we're talking about the whole native speaking and jobs. It's not like we are dashing the hopes of non-native speakers like us. We're not saying non-native speakers don't get jobs,
Yeah.
but the thing to note is that if you want to get a job in China as a non-native speaker, especially if you graduate from here, right? If you have a Chinese university degree, you can actually get some of these jobs because they will like to give jobs to people who graduated from one of their universities, especially if it's like a top ranking university. But like apart from that, if you want to go into the teaching profession, which we know brings in the door, okay, you can go to get some certifications that will kind of give you levels with the native speakers. So for like subject teaching, we have the PGCE, we have the IELTS. Is it IELTS or
IELTS,
TEFL? I
yes.
think it's TEFL, yeah, for like teaching English
Mm.
to speakers of other languages, even TESOL as well. So if you can get those certificates,
Yeah.
and yeah, and you have like work experience and things like that, you can definitely land one of those jobs. So it's not like we're saying there's no hope for non-native speakers, okay? I actually even have a friend who graduated from not just a friend, I know a lot of people who are non-native speakers who also like got jobs teaching here in China. So it's definitely something that we can get as non-native speakers.
Yeah, it's true. The soft life here is good. I mean, forget the freedom. The soft life here is good because you get the opportunity to live a kind of life you wouldn't be living back at home
Mm,
because the hustle is real back home.
yeah.
It's real here too, but at least with a form of advantage. The
Mm,
transportation system, I think, it's one of the best in the world because
yeah.
even when you watch, let's just say you've not been to America, you watch American movies, the trains and stuff. The trains here are
Yeah.
fancy.
Yeah.
The buses here are nice.
Yeah.
Like they the tech life, and when you see the buildings and stuff, China is so beautiful, especially in the night. In the
Mm,
night when the lights and everything is just
mm.
so beautiful. So what are your last words for those maybe who want to come to China? Your last words just to tell them something, and yeah, basically, and also tell them about your YouTube channel.
Okay. So if you're planning to come to China, I know that now that the borders are open, a lot of people, a lot of eyes are suddenly back on China, like, oh yeah, there's this country that, especially for like people from the Americas or the UK and things like that, those ones can very easily land a very well paying job that they wouldn't even have gotten if they were back in their country, right? So it's like I said before, have an idea, like know why you're here, and every day remind yourself that okay, this is why I'm here, and just work at your dreams, work at the reason you're here. Um, Also, like, have a positive mindset, or like just try. I don't know if it's just me, maybe because I'm a positive person, I like to see the good out of things. So like when you come to China, obviously you're going to watch the media and you see a lot of things. Oh, China is this, China is that. No, take away any impressions, especially the bad impressions that you have about China. Form your impressions for yourself. Okay, so it's very, very important. If you have an idea of what you think China is when you come here, you most probably will have an experience relating to that idea that you already formed in your head. So maybe you are thinking, oh, China is a place that they restrict freedom, or China is a place that you can't do this or you can't do that. You keep seeing those type of things. So, but if you have like an open mind, then you come and form your impressions by yourself. You're definitely going to have the good ones, you're going to have the bad ones, but try as much as possible to not weigh on the bad ones.
Yeah.
Let's say maybe you experience people passing by, like passing you by, and oh, because they see a black person, they move to the other side of the
Or
road,
they wear their masks.
or they wear their masks. Or before COVID, it was like maybe you enter the train and you sit down, then someone is suddenly getting up. I'm just like, and it's even funny sometimes, like when the train is like very full, and then they get up, and maybe someone else will now even come and sit down there. Do you get? So at the end of the day, you find out that it's just some people, okay? It's some people out of a whole lot of people. Don't just judge the whole Chinese population because one person did this kind of thing to you. You're definitely going to have your bad days. It can get lonely in China sometimes, but all in all, just try to, figure out new things. China is actually a place, I feel like it's a place where you can develop a lot of personal development or personal strength and things like that, that will serve you, like when you go back home or when you go to other
Especially
countries.
if you're a creative, like if you're one of those people that
Yes,
the musicians, the
yeah, there's so many resources.
Mm.
There's so many sceneries for like photographers. It's just like so many things to capture. So just make use of those opportunities that you have while in China, because I don't think that like that there are a lot of people who plan to live in China forever. So
I know some. I know one man. In fact, unless they grab him to leave, they deport him. He's not leaving this country, but that's him.
So, but in that period of time when you're here, just try to have fun and have the best of your life here.
You need to be able to make yourself happy.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's in any country. When you leave home, generally, you need to be able to, because there's no family, there are no friends really, and so you need to be able to make yourself happy so that you can be able to live that life and see the beauty. I learned that a bit late. I won't lie. I was basically really angry like all the time. But when I started, because my experiences were too many. I think I didn't expect it. And then they came like right on top of each other, like from here to here to here, like they were coming from all corners. So I was so negative. But then eventually I was like, okay, fine, let me just open up to these people just a bit. The negative people will be negative. I mean, we'll have our differences. But then, I mean, there are some people that you can just smile at and then they'll be,
yeah, exactly.
That kind of thing. And it feels good.
Yeah, it's like the energy you give, you get it back. So if you see them, I already like, so them to the black. Do you get?
Me usually, if I really don't want to, I just look straight. Like I wouldn't look at anybody. But then now I was like, let me just say hello. Let me open the door for this person. Let me help this person with something. And I realized that, like, just being a Christian, as a Christian, like just trying to just love everybody and trying to be a better person made me a bit better, actually. Like. And then ever since then, I think the negatives have reduced
right?
Not because I started doing that, but somehow they have reduced.
Okay.
Maybe also because
actually,
right?
Actually, I was gonna say, they say for every action there is a corresponding reaction. So it's like even generally in life, if you go about life with a positive mindset, a positive attitude, the tendency of positive things happening to you are higher than negative things happening to you, and vice versa.
So my husband really can. He's what you are talking like him. He really thinks like that. Okay, so so tell us about your YouTube channel. We're ending here, but I want us to know her because I'm sure you're enjoying this conversation with her because I
I
am. I'm
am.
like,
Me too.
so tell us about your YouTube channel.
Okay, so I started a YouTube channel in 2020 actually, documenting my life here in China, and then that channel has, a lot of things has happened in that channel because I got married, I had my baby, and the content is quite diversified. So if you're interested in life in China, because now for like Gloria EJ channel, I'm doing a lot of videos about interviews, life experience of like foreigners here in China, even like interviewing Chinese people as well. And if you just want to have a feel of what life is like in China through the lens of a woman of color, myself, then my channel is a place to be. So please, you guys, go check out my channel. And yeah,
So she
thank
has two
you.
channels. One is Gloria EJ, which is for life in China and other stuff. And she has Life with the EJs, which is her
Yeah.
channel with her husband and her daughter. It's hilarious. They just started it, but it's hilarious. Please, both of the channels, please go subscribe, like. And this video, please like. And if you haven't
Yes.
subscribed to my channel, please do so. So we're ending it here. So thank you very much for those who watched. So till another day, we say
Bye,
bye.
guys.
See you next Friday.